females, also the way females articulate when they speak, is a bit more wider in dynamics than males. Female voices are a lot more colorful in sound. And please, I don't mean to offend my male colleagues here, but the female sound is a lot more complex and richer in harmonics. Because richer in harmonics means it sounds nicer. All right? So this is a little problem in digital. And I think that reproducing the female sound, so to speak, is something that we are overcoming. And the latest vocoder, the HHELP vocoder, I think is doing a very good job. And I will let you judge for yourself because I have some female samples. And again, these are hair-splitting details, all right? So only people with very sensitive ears can hear that, oh, the vocoder might have a problem here with the female sound or the female's voice. I'm just telling you this so that you're aware of this. And when you get these complaints, where it's coming from, how you're going to deal with them, that's up to you. So the vocoder is kind of like the one that is making TDMA a very successful. So on top of that, so we have female sound, male sound. There's another aspect, different languages. Different languages, again, different sound. And even though we speak English in America, we have different accents in America alone. You have the New York accent, you have the Chicago accent, the Philadelphia accent, California accent, the Alabama accent, and all of them are almost like a language of their own, with their own words. If you go to, I don't know, Seattle and you go ask for a hoagie, people might wonder, hoagie? It's a typical Philadelphia, you know, thing. And it's pronounced in a certain way by somebody in Philadelphia, and the way somebody, like the way I would pronounce hoagie, or the way somebody in California would pronounce the word hoagie is different, or somebody from Florida. So there is differences there too. You step out of the United States, go to Europe, there's Germany, same setup, different types of German, different types of Dutch in Holland, etc., etc., etc. So what they did over the years is they kind of sampled all of the languages and all of the different accents all over the world and took out all of the characteristics of all of these languages and stored them in a little database that fits in the vocoder. So the vocoder has the database of all these language characteristics, and then on top of that, the vocoder itself can be thought of as a variable filter. In other words, a focal tract that is variable. It can be male, female, it can be French, Italian, American, Australian. It can just emulate anybody's voice. All right, so let me try to kind of give you an idea of how this vocoder works. Okay, if this is my vocoder, and let's say I speak into it, the vocoder is going to check first. Male, female, it doesn't exactly work like that, but this is a model that I'm going to be using. That's how you can look at it as working, all right? First, what it's going to do is going to check, is it a male, female? You know, what's your name?
Joe. Joe.
Joe. Joe is male, so he's male. And you're Irish, American, Italian. So it's going to start checking. Joe is male, sends out the code of zeros and ones. And this is not, he's not from Alabama, you're from Philadelphia, New Jersey. It's American English, okay? It's filtering out, oh, this is English, sends out another code. What kind of English? It's not Alabama, it's not California, it's New Jersey English, sends out another code. And then the way Joe articulates his words are in this and this and this frequency band. Then it sends out another word, okay? And this is how this vocoder ends up sending zeros and ones, representing Joe's voice. On the other side, another vocoder receives these characteristics of Joe and then emulates the voice and regenerates Joe's voice. All right?
So it's really not Joe.
It's not Joe.
It's Joe by wire.
It's Joe by robot. And the name of that robot is the vocoder. That's right. If I talk on a digital phone with somebody else on a digital phone, I'm actually speaking to a robot. That robot is talking to another robot, and that robot is actually talking to the other person. And the other way around as well. Why do we do this? Why go through all this difficult business and sampling voices of the entire world? Because, you know, somebody shows up from, I don't know, some village in the Himalaya. And we kind of overlooked sampling how it sounds over there. What the vocoder will do, it's going to start interpolating between two languages and trying to make up what it hears. And it's doing a very good job. What I'm talking about here are hair-splitting details. Only people with very, very extremely sensitive ears can hear these differences. But these people are out there. And they will call and complain. So, so I'm kind of arming you with that, all right? Why do we do this? We do this because, as you can see, thanks to this mathematical algorithm of digitizing the voice, we can compress voices in one voice channel. So let's say, let's step back to our analog voice channel. Remember, one analog voice channel is about 30 kilohertz wide. Okay, that's one analog voice channel. You know, one of the 416 assigned to us in the A band. Remember, A band 416. The width of one of these voice channels is 30 kilohertz. Thanks to these fancy vocoders, we can now squeeze 3 voices in one voice channel. So now, instead of building 3 cell sites, I just use 1 cell site, put the vocoder in there, and capacity has been multiplied by 3. And it's the vocoder that is compressing the voice and decompressing it again. I have some voice samples that I would like to play for you. And again, you're going to judge for yourself. Do we have an A cell clean?
Female?
Why don't we start with a female voice? Yes. Ladies first.
Tony Park on the sharp week. Sickness taking home the 3rd week. The Vauxhall Ho 7 gifts at once. Jazz and bands like fast music.
Okay. What do you think? Now, there are 2 types of vocoders. There are the A-CELP and the Phi-CELP vocoder. And actually, the way you pronounce it correctly is A-CELP or A-CELP. The other day, we had a meeting in engineering about how we're going to pronounce this right, and it's A-CELP or A-CELP and V-CELP. All right, V-CELP is the earlier vocoder. A-CELP is the creme de la creme of vocoders. What you've just heard is an A-CELP female voice. How about a male voice?
The ship was torn apart on the sharp reef. Sickness kept him home the 3rd week. A box will hold 7 gifts at once. Jazz and swing fans like fast music.
How about if you play the female sound again?
The ship was torn apart on the sharp reef. Sickness kept him home the 3rd week. The Vauxhall Ho 7 gifts at once.
Okay.
Jazz and
All right. Now, what do you think? Give me some feedback here. Some of you are giving me that Harrison Ford look, you know.
The male was easier to understand.
The male was, yeah, okay. Now, it was unfortunate that we picked this sample, but, you know, yeah. It is one of these. Any other comments about what you've heard, male, female? How do you think it sounded, Joe?
Okay.
The thing about these vocoders is that they do a relatively good job. Okay, now imagine that you are in your analog system with some statics on the phone. You know what that sounds like, all right? I would like for you to listen to an actual digital mobile-to-mobile call in digital, what it sounds like. We have that sample too, I think.
Lucid Technologies supports TDMA for both cellular and TCS applications. Our enhanced digital radio unit features new ACALP vocoding technology for improved voice quality. We include support for multiple vocoders.
Well, that's an actual mobile-to-mobile call. One thing you notice, it sounds a bit cleaner and quieter than an analog call. Because one of the added benefits of TDMA is that it nullifies background noise. So that's like a plus right there. All right? Now, another thing that I need to tell you is that these vocoders, and I've brought a digital phone here. This is an analog phone, this is a digital phone that we're playing with. Where are these vocoders? There's a vocoder in the phone and there's a vocoder in the cell site. Okay? And the vocoder was meant for one voice. If Joe and I will start talking together on the phone, the vocoder suddenly receives Joe, his accent, and mine, which happens to be Dutch. So the vocoder will work. It will function. But again, for the sensitive ear, that person might hear that the vocoder is sweating there, trying to reproduce my friend Joe here and my voice at the same time. All right? So, and again, you might receive a complaint, you know, like we were trying to sing Christmas carols to Mom and they couldn't hear anything. That it was silent night, you know, things like that. So, you see, that's multiple voices through one, but it will work. Second issue with vocoders is music, because these vocoders were designed for voices, not animals. You know, you want to let your uncle hear that my little dog, how he sounds now, how old he is. It's going to sound terrible, because it's not for pet sounds, you know. But you have special vocoders for pet sounds that they use in the music industry. Now, but a vocoder will work. The other aspect of vocoders is that they have a tendency to predict what you will be saying. Now, no, not really like that, but let's say the HALP vocoder. Okay, I want you to focus on these two last letters here, LP, linear predictive. If you would say a word, let's say Comcast, what it's doing as you're speaking, it's filtering out what your accent is, you know, like in Joe's case, this is Joe, he's from New Jersey, he's male, he's this, he's that, he's the Italian articulation, etc. It's going to do something else. It's splitting up the words almost, and Joe only has a very unique way of saying the word Comcast, just as you have a unique way, and everybody has a unique accent and unique way. There's no way you're going to say Comcast different. So it's doing some extra saving there, because no need to regenerate this. So this is how you save some more data. And it's very smart. And it's giving all this data to the other side. So as the vocoder analyzes Joe's voice as he speaks, on the other side, the other vocoder takes this information and recreates Joe's voice. And it's doing a good job. I have a sample here of some music through a VSELP vocoder. So there is VSELP and ACALP vocoders. VSELP is the earlier version, didn't work that well, and ACALP is the creme de la creme. I would like for you to listen to music to a VSELP vocoder.